I'm with Hans Hendrischke, who is the Professor of Chinese Political Economy at the University of Sydney at their China Studies Centre. And Hans has had a fascinating career as a German diplomat, a businessman studying Chinese originally in Germany and then in Taiwan, and has been an interpreter for no less than Deng Xiaoping, so the architect of modern China, arguably, Hans. And you've got a conference on the 29th of November, the Customs House in Sydney, to talk about China and Australia, and in particular the issue or the question of how do we move beyond resources. You know, we know there's this gigantic middle class growing in China and of course elsewhere in Asia. How do we go beyond simply being the mine that supplies the iron ore and the coal to make the steel to build the cities?
Well, that is the question. We have a China Studies Centre at Sydney University where we have about 130 academics from all different areas. And that is one of the core questions we wanted to raise with these people. Where do we find a starting point from the university side? Where do we find a starting point from Australian society and business to move away or to, in a way, to spread the wealth that is created by our engagement with China wider than the resources sector?
And what are some of your ideas for how we would do that?
Well, the ideas we started off with is to work with the corporate sector, actually, to not rely on academics just themselves, but to work with the corporate sector. We've done a study with KPMG on the 5-year plan, and we're now rolling out quarterly industry reports in areas where Australia and sectors of the Australian economy, services, manufacturing, science and technology have chances to work with China. And what we want to do with our research then is find partners in China on the local side, on provincial, with provincial partnerships who can partner up with Australian companies and Australian partners to create new markets that sit around the resources core of our relationship.
Okay, and so that would be in terms of systems, software. What sort of technology are you talking about?
Well, that would range from finance industries as a driver of the services sector, would go on to things like biotech technology, agriculture, architecture, design. Wherever in a way we have areas which are strong enough as drivers to pull in a number of sectors where Australia is strong.
Well, there's certainly big opportunities in agriculture. I mean, one of China's facing terrific challenges of water scarcity, and I know that they've been very focused on what we've done here in terms of irrigation, more water-efficient irrigation, recognising that, when you're running out of water, you've got to make every drop count. So that's certainly some opportunities in that region.
Well, that in fact is our next big focus. At the moment we're trying to, for this conference in November, we're trying to focus on resources, services and general investment, which would include investment cooperation between Australia and China. And then for the second half of next year we'll focus essentially on sustainability, that is agriculture, urban sustainability, but largely areas which evolve around Australian agriculture and technology that is specific to Australia, and that is very easily to be used in China.
Okay, well that's great. Well, good luck with the conference. If I'm not detained here in Parliament, I'll be there, and it should be very interesting.
We would love to have a visionary speaker to come to the conference. Thank you very much.
Oh, very good. Thanks, Hans. Okay, good.